Hey, welcome to my channel. Tom quietly closed the door, partially covering his ear to eavesdrop on what was happening outside. As soon as he heard the elevator doors close, he dashed out like a wind. The elevator just reached the first floor, and Tom saw Fred glaring at the landlady completely ignored him. Fred turned to get back in the elevator, and Tom quickly shut the door, hearing the chain of footsteps again. The sound of footsteps and knocking echoed, indicating Fred was back again. He didn't want to keep pretending anymore. His NYC friends gave him the lowdown. Tom was just a little con artist squatting in a poor folks' apartment. Just as he finished speaking, Tom's dark look told him to scram. Fred turned to check Tom's watch. If I'm right, that watch should have Archie's initials on the back. Tom ignored him again and insisted Fred leave, who resignedly replied he'd be out, but would return with the cops in an hour. Fred had seen too many con artists living off charm. Tom was just an amateur. He tossed the pallet aside, strutting to the door. Second time's the charm, and Tom seemed much cooler. He strolled over to the body, rummaging around, finding a British passport and a car key. Fred came by car, probably for a one-way trip to the Mother Mary disposal zone. After checking the car, Tom headed back to the apartment. Back to the apartment he went, just back to the apartment. As soon as he stepped in, blood on the decor caught his eye, and he grabbed a wet towel to clean up. His brain raced. It was 5 p.m., and he had 2 hours till dark. Best time to deal with a body? Midnight. This wasn't the ocean. No matter how discreetly you dump a body, it'll get discovered. The landlady saw Fred, so he needed to clock the time for a possible autopsy. Tom poured himself a glass of hometown brew, pondering if anyone was waiting for Fred. Suddenly, he remembered Fred's love for booze, and a bright idea struck. Tom took 10 minutes to funnel a whole bottle of liquor down Fred's gullet, then started rehearsing the questions he might face from the cops. He was almost convinced that he had absolutely no connection to the murder, just as the midnight bells chimed. The city of Rome slipped into deep slumber, and Tom had to move Fred to the car first. But this fellow was as weighty as the Alps, and making too much noise could potentially disturb our neighbors, so I was actually quite concerned just before we stepped out the door. Tom topped Fred with the hat, and the elevator came right up. He dragged Fred inside, hit the button for the first floor, and the elevator started its slow descent. Ugh, the elevator broke again. Tom took a deep breath to stabilize his nerves. No way was he letting that body sleep over. With no options, Tom had to manually hold the body down. He tried repositioning Fred against the door. Well, never mind. I'll just drag it. It's truly hollow. At that moment, the neighbor's door clicked shut. Thankfully, that woman didn't poke her nose in. The night street was as quiet as the library. Tom peeked out, scanning the area, confirmed no one was around, then cautiously moved Fred, feeling regretful. He should have parked closer. Suddenly, hasty footsteps in the distance. Tom turned to see a woman, and after a moment's thought, slammed Fred against the wall, closing his eyes to steady his nerves. The click of heels receded. The woman passed unaware, and Tom couldn't afford to care. He strained to shove Fred along. Eventually, he made it to the side of the car, but unfortunately, another accident occurred. Can I assist you? No thanks. You're here. Good night. Good night, as the dog-walking man gradually walked away. Tom struggled to pull Fred into the passenger side, opened the door, stuffed him in, and then made a pit stop back to the apartment. He wiped away the blood on the stairs and in the elevator with a wet towel, got back into the driver's seat, and heard a roar as the feet came to life. The car rolled forward slowly, turning a corner. Fred leaned over, and Tom felt the position was a tad shady. The system auto-pushed Fred back, and around another corner. He leaned in again. Tom ignored it completely. The car passed Veneto Street, Venice Square, the red Emmanuel Roman II monument, and the podium where Mussolini once spoke. Tom had no time for sightseeing. Eventually, the car stopped at the Abigdo path. Just as Tom was about to exit, headlights suddenly flashed behind, and he pulled the door shut, holding his breath and silently praying. Thankfully, the driver of that vehicle wasn't a Roman cop, and thankfully, it wasn't a police car either. Tom had already planned it. He first snagged Fred's passport and wallet. Then he wiped every fingerprint off the car. After parking, he walked for an hour, opting to check out a taxi from far away, avoiding a direct drop-off at the apartment. He had the cab drop him far from the apartment, then walked back, arriving home at 3 a.m. Before entering, he threw Fred's passport wallet down the drain, then cleaned the blood meticulously. After finishing all this, it was 4 a.m. Tom leaned back on the couch, finally ready to relish that glass of hometown brew. As of now, he could only think of 2 flaws. Fred's polo jacket was super pricey. A robbery scene should have snagged that jacket, plus that mysterious dog-walking man. He couldn't ascertain whether that individual had caught a glimpse of his face, but the deed was done. All he could resort to now was accepting his fate before the dawn fully broke. Hey, subscribe to my channel and follow me closely. Detective Peter found Fred's body. Tom's luck was out. It was discovered within 2 hours.